Buenos dias. We left Astorga early this morning, still dark. We have our longest day today. It's going to be 32 kilometers. We're now officially leaving the meseta. So we've just done 190 kilometers on the meseta, which is long and straight and a little boring at times, but we did enjoy it overall. But now we're going to start getting into a little bit more exciting terrain from here on in. So we're going to El Acebo, is our next pit stop. So weather's nice, nice and sunny, not raining, which is a bonus. So yes, all good.
Hola, buenos días. Salimos de Astorga esta mañana temprano. Estaba oscuro. Tenemos nuestro día más largo hoy. Creo que son 32 kilómetros, 33 kilómetros. Nunca sabes. Pero vamos al Acebo, el Acebo. Amaneció con un poquito de lluvia esta mañana, pero se limpió. Venimos de la meseta, que todo es llano y plano, y vamos hacia las montañas. Entonces esperamos que el clima cambie de aquí en adelante un poco, y pues en ocasiones nos tocará algo de lluvia y algo de frío, pero vamos bien y nos vemos luego.
Buen camino.
Buen camino.
It's us again. Quite a few people have asked us about our accommodation and so forth. We chose to mix it up. So we've stayed in albergues with multiple people. We've stayed in private rooms in albergues, which are designed specifically for couples. We've stayed in Airbnbs. We've stayed in 2-star hotels, and we've stayed in 4 and 5-star hotels. So we've chose to mix it up. What we've done is every 3-4 days we'll stay in an Airbnb. So there's a washing machine, dryer and so forth, which helps. And the other thing we'd like to mention is there's a system here that if you wish, you can send your backpack forward to the next town. So you might be walking 30 kilometers, you stay in one place, but you've got to have the next destination, you have to have a place booked. So there's envelopes at the reception. You put €6 in the envelope, you put your name and where you're heading to, your next port of call, and your backpack will be waiting for you when you get there. So we've used that system once on a long 31 kilometre day, but it's really good, especially if you're struggling with, say, you see a lot of people here with sore ankles or sore knees, and the extra 8 or 10 kilos is a major thing for them. So, buen camino. So yeah, for those who didn't know, for those who are coming on the Camino, there's that option if you're struggling some days, you can just send it on. There's no shame in it. You walk in the distance no matter what.
I like to add that about sending your backpack. For me, it's not only the distance, it's the terrain. When you have a steep climb or a steep descent, it just helps.
Yeah,
balance.
The risk of hurting yourself is much higher.
It's much higher than the 6 euros.
Yeah.
We have tags in our bags.
Yeah, we have Apple Air tags in our backpack, so we know where they are at all times.
We're not a sponsor anyone, so you can do your own research in that one. But it's really handy if you're gonna send your backpack to have a locator on it, so you peace of mind, knowing that when you get there, your backpack is waiting for you.
Yes.
You know how many k's are you away from your backpack? So
Getting closer.
It's always a good incentive to get there. And our accommodation in the albergues, there's two kind of bathrooms. Sometimes the bedroom comes with a private, sometimes it's a shared bathroom. Highly recommend to have something with hooks to hang your stuff in the shared bathrooms. There's not always soap there, so carrying a little bit of soap, it's always handy. That's it.
That's it.
Buen camino.
So we've been climbing about 300 meters so far in altitude and another 300 meters to go. It's about 7 degrees at the moment. I don't think it's going to get much warmer than about 10 today. But we're up the top of this mountain. The clouds, about level with the clouds. Threatening to rain, but hopefully it'll stay away. And we've got a nice steep climb ahead. We're going to reach a peak of 1,600 meters. So we have just reached the Cruz de Ferro, or the Iron Cross, which is just there behind me. It's a very significant spot on the Camino. It's the highest peak at about 1,500 meters. It means different things to different people. Many people bring from home a small stone or a token that represents loved ones, lost loved ones, or even a burden. Many people feel once they leave that stone or token behind, a weight's being lifted. So it affects different people in different ways. Personally, I have brought with me a small piece of pumice from the Pumicestone Passage from back home. Pumice, just you find it on the beach everywhere there, and it's very, very light. But it's probably one of the heaviest things in my backpack. For me personally, it represents all my loved ones, present and past. It represents people that are close to me that are not well at the moment. They're struggling through life. And it also represents how grateful I am to live where I live. So blessed that I'm healthy, happy, I have a great life. So it's a reminder also not to take anything for granted in this life.
Click like.
Subscribe. Well, we're only 3 kilometers from our destination, and we're walking through the mountains, and there's some heavy rain clouds around, and the drops are freezing cold. Still blue sky in the distance. Such a weird feel. And here it comes.